Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, okay? You are now in the den. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. So, child, this is The Handmaid's Tale. This is my review recap for The Handmaid's Tale Border, Season 5, Episode 3. It is the audacity for me. It is the audacity of Miss Serena to really think that she was running things all up and through here, okay? That she was just going to get off scot-free. She was going to throw Hannah in June's face with no type of repercussions, honey. She really tried it, okay, y'all? She tried it. But let's go ahead and get into this episode, y'all. So we start off this episode, June and Luke is just sitting on this couch. They are still in shock. They still trying to figure out what the heck did we just see? What did we just witness? What is going on? How is this possible? All right. And June must have asked about 5 or 6 times what the heck color Hannah had on. Okay. At this point, Luke comes in. He's asking her if she's okay. And he's pretty much in shock too. He's saying, he can't really remember the color she had on either. Maura comes in and she's telling them she just got off with the refugee hotline. She was on this asshole hole. Nobody is really being able to get through. It must be a lot of calls coming through with a lot of people that's concerned and probably want to know, what is this that I just saw on my daggone TV, right? Not to mention other people that's probably just calling that needs help and different things of that nature. And so, you have June still saying, what color was that she was wearing? And Maura is like, girl, what the fudge are you talking about? Okay. And she's like, and what was Mark doing there with Serena, honey? They ain't catch on that Mark is basically being Serena's little lapdog. We all know he got a soft spot for her. And he gonna try to help her and do things because he still does not see Serena as the monster that she really is. But, of course, Luke is saying America probably made a deal with her, right? And then, Maura's just like, oh, fudge again, okay? She's like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. And then she says, what are you even talking about over there, June? She's like, the color she had on was purple, okay? It wasn't pink. She is not a little girl no more. And so, of course, this makes June and Luke have a very concerned look on their face, like, what exactly does that mean? Of course, she knows what all the other colors mean, but she doesn't know about purple. And so this is very concerning, okay? And Maura starts to tell her how she knows about these people that's at the border, okay? Is these women that are basically nothing official, but she heard about them having, some ways where they could get messages to people, because at this point, of course, the first person that crossed her mind that she like, maybe I can get some answers or, be able to find out how Hannah is and everything like that is Nick, right? And so she gets pissed and she's like, how come you never mentioned this to me before? Why am I just hearing about this? And she's like, yo, I wasn't going to tell you nothing about them, okay? I'm mentioning it now because of the situation with Hannah, but make no mistake about it, girl. I don't know what these people are about, okay? They seem like they crazy and suicidal. You a little nuts too, so the last thing I want to do is tell you about them and have you getting involved with them. And of course, June gets pissed at this and was like, that is not your decision to make. And Maura basically says, fine, I'll ask about it, okay? I will do this for Hannah. And she says that, she was going to be the one to go with her, because there's no men allowed. And so they agree to that and they go ahead and they make this trip. Now they meet this person named Lily, who is actually, basically recognizing June as soon as they introduced to each other. And she's saying she thought she would be taller. June was like, I get that a lot. And so she basically was saying to her, like, I was one of the people that you helped or whatever the case may be, right? And she was one of the women that was traded for Waterford. And so she thanks her for that. And she's basically like, how did you do it? And June's saying sorry that she wasn't able to do it sooner. And she's saying that it was just luck. And, Lily tells her, women always say that when they do extraordinary things. I said, boom, and there you go. I know that's right? And so she's just letting her know, like, you helped all these women, you helped all these children, like you really made an impact and a difference. June and Maura's basically, both looking at each other. And I think that meant a lot. And let, June know, despite all this craziness and despite the fact that her daggone daughter is still there, she has made a big difference and has made a big impact. And she did help, some people. And so that was something that could give her a little bit of comfort. Now, in the meantime, Mark is telling Serena that, she put on a big show yesterday and that he knows that, they all must be very pleased because it was able to shine a light on their community and, that was a very big help to them and that they, pretty much should be really grateful to her right now, right? And she's saying that she's just grateful. Yeah, I want to throw up. I want to throw up and I want to slap the mess out this lady if she would have said one more time that Fred was basically, being shown the respect he deserved. I said, girl, no, what he deserved was to be, his behind on damn fire, okay? He got out easy as far as I'm concerned, but nonetheless, of course, she want to keep beating us in our heads with that. And even when she was saying that, Mark just kind of looked at her funny because he still got these damn rose-colored glasses on his eyes, okay? And so she didn't, saying she hoped she didn't get him into too much trouble with the job. And he's like, no, at this point we made, a deal. We worked out things for you to be able to go ahead and get this burial done or whatever, right? And so he says that's the bottom line, is just basically about his job. And she says, well, she thanks him for what he's been doing, okay, but he can go ahead and get out of there before the Marthas get back. And he basically was like, are you worried about your reputation? She's like, no, but I just want to worry about the way things look, And she says, I'm sure that you have also, been liking being here so that you can kind of get an inside look and see what's going on too. And you've been kind of like wanting to, nose around, right? And he's basically saying, no, it wasn't just all about that. I also wanted to be here and wanted to, protect you and make sure that I do right by you since the situation did go bad with, your husband or whatever, right? And so he says, well, anyway, he's going to go ahead and leave and he'll be back to escort her to Commander Lawrence's. And she just had this funny look on her face when he walked out. I'm not too sure, what's that about. We can see that sometimes there's chemistry between them, but sometimes she'll start to try to fake the funk. At the end of the day, they are both looking out for their own self-interest. Of course, he's trying to snoop around and see what the heck he can find out, right? And see what deals he can make on the inside, whatever the case may be. And of course, Serena is over here trying to have her own plans too. So now when June and them get to this place, they see that it's close by no man's land. They have the American flag outside. They got a real crew here, okay? These women is out there armed. There's a bunch of them. For a minute there, I thought maybe some of the ones that she got into it with that helped her with Fred and was going to be there, but it doesn't look like it so far, right? And she basically sees that they have pics of people that they saved. They like, wow, this is impressive. But they also have pics of people that they lost. So they like, of course, it's not all good, right? We know that it won't be. And they are basically Mayday. And she like, wait, is Mayday in Canada? She said, girl, it's Mayday everywhere. We are just ordinary people, okay? And my John Legend voice, where we got different people that just get together in different places or whatever. Some are even little like families or whatever, right? And it's just people that's trying to do some good. And so June looked like she was really impressed by that. And she also said, we thought that we had made it up. We really didn't think that it was real. And Lily tells her, well, I guess that means that you were Mayday too, And I think this really let June know, like, okay, wait, it is some things that could be done, right? It is things that people are doing. It is things, people that are places that we don't even know about. And it made me again think about that crew that came and helped her because, like I said, had they had a plan and had they actually talked it out, like, okay, we're going to do this with Fred, and then we're going to do this with this, we're going to do this with that, right? Forming this resistance so we could get this fight on and popping, right? And coming together with people like this and finding out who are some of the other people in the other places, then y'all could probably actually do something. But you can't think you're just going to get mad and run off and do whatever independent things on your own. If you're doing it that way, yeah, you're going to get your behind killed quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you can see the wheels in June's head turning now that she's seeing that there's these other people out here that's doing these things. Now, in the meantime, we get back over to Lawrence or whatever, and we have Mark dropping Serena off at this point. And Lawrence is telling Mark, there is a strict no spy policy, right? Which Mark's just laughing at that, but he says, I hope me and you are going to be able to have a conversation later because I really think that we have a lot to talk about. And Lawrence basically just laughs at him when he says that. and says, you know, yeah, okay, see you later, and close the door in his face. I said, well, damn, y'all could have at least let him sit inside. Like, isn't it cold? I said, at least the other people let him sit in the little corridor area, okay? Lawrence wasn't trying to let him in at all. And so when they get in there, you have the Mackenzies there. You know, she's greeting the Commissioner Mackenzie and his wife. They doing this little small talk or whatever, right? And she basically is saying that she's happy. Again, she's saying she's happy that Fred got the send-off he deserves. But Mackenzie kind of calls her out a little bit. And I love when somebody breaks it down for her, because I get tired of her acting like she's on this damn high mighty horse, like she ain't do nothing and like they wasn't awaiting a damn trial, okay? So he basically brings it up like, yeah, blessed be. But of course, I'm sure you would have liked it even better if he would have had a damn fair trial as well, right? Anything to say, Serena? No, crickets, right? And so Serena seems to be surprised, honey, because he knows all about June and everything that went down. And then, you know, Lawrence is over here blaming the Americans. She just looking back and forth between them. And then she looks shocked because Nick and Rose show up too, okay? And this is her first time getting to meet her. And, you know, he's making it seem like he's so happy to be with Rose. And they met in D.C. and all this different kind of stuff. And they give her this gift for the baby, which apparently is some type of, you know, blanket or whatever, or sweater that, you know, Rose knitted. And she said that was the second one. She messed up the first one bad. You know, it may still be some bumps in there in some areas, okay, because she's not that good in knitting. And Serena's just like, thank you, you know, I'm sure it's good or whatever. And Nick over here talking about, you know, oh, too bad they didn't see the first one. And she was like, yeah, nobody want to see that one, right? And so they saying that, you know, you familiar with Nick, right? And she's like, yeah, me and Nick was very good friends. He was very close with the family and all of this kind of stuff, right? And so they like, oh, okay, yeah, but it's just like kind of awkward and everybody's giving these different looks in between. So, you know, we see Aunt Lydia, child. Lydia going through it, honey. She went in there to check on Esther, baby, and 1 minute she crying and looking all disgruntled or whatever and out of it. And the next minute she slapped fire out of Esther's ass. And I ain't gonna lie, for once I wasn't even mad at her for giving this slap. I said, you know, I'll make an exception to this one because, you know, Lydia got her moments, okay? I don't like her behind either, but you can't lie. She do have her moments sometimes where she really does make you feel like she's human, and she's pissed right now. And then she goes to where Janine is at, and she's basically praying over her and saying that she doesn't deserve this, and she's literally there crying. I'm like, oh, Lydia, let me find out. But that's what I want to know, okay? That's who I care about. I want to know if my girl Janine is going to be all right, because I said the last review, honey, listen, she done been through enough. If y'all going to kill her off like this, then y'all might as well have let her die in the rubble, okay? Esther had me pissed off with giving her that damn poison. And so, you know, basically Lawrence is trying to have all this different small talk at the dinner table, okay, about business. And, you know, Mackenzie is letting him know this is not the place for that, okay? We're going to end this conversation right now. We're going to save that for the small council meeting, okay? Nobody want to hear about this. And his wife says, you know, as soon as you remarry, then you'll have somebody that could kind of redirect you when you start talking too much about business. Because Lawrence was like, sorry, sometimes I get ahead of myself and I talk too much and I bore myself too. And so he was saying he's never going to get remarried. But they was like, well, what you going to do then, okay? Because there's no such thing as a man not being married. He would not have no power and it wouldn't really be any use for him. But they say they will go ahead and continue that. That will be something else also to discuss, okay, at the damn council meeting. So I said, Lawrence, you better be quiet while you ahead. But basically, you know, they say that it's hard to imagine, you know, that their sweet angel came from that devil, of course, right? Talking about Hannah and June, right? And they're saying that for a long time they didn't want nothing to happen to the birth mother because they didn't want to have to tell Hannah about it, okay? I'm not calling her by the name that they call her. She is Hannah because that's what her mama names her, okay? And they were saying they wouldn't want to tell, you know, these things about to the child about their birth mother and her being hurt or harmed or killed in any way, right? They're giving this fake concern. And, you know, Mackenzie saying how he has so much mercy on her, right? They kill me how they be acting like they got so much mercy for people, but y'all literally over here doing all these different things to them, tormenting them, you know, attacking them, assaulted them, but that's mercy. I hate to see what you call vengeance if that's mercy, right? And so, basically they saying no more. She's a cancer, okay? June Osborne is a cancer and she must be cut out. I said, baby, like I said, what are you? Is the pot calling the damn kettle black? So Lawrence and Nick is really looking like this when they saying that, right? And of course they can't say nothing because they can't let on nothing of caring about June or what happens to her. And Serena actually looks pleased that they are saying this, of course. And so Lawrence, basically when they are leaving, I'm sorry, y'all. Lost my train of thought for a minute. When they are leaving and the dinner is over, you have Nick tell his wife to give him a minute, and he goes up to Mark and he basically was like, don't tell June anything about Rose, right? He wants to be the one to tell her about that. He's like, okay, no problem. So he's asking Nick if he's had time to think about what he asked him in reference to, of course, giving info and all of that and him being able to see his daughter. And Nick says, no, I haven't been able to, even think about that yet, right? Can't talk about that now. And in the meantime, Mackenzie bringing his behind up there. Oh, well, what are you doing talking to him? And you can't be just leaving your wife standing there in the cold. And he asked for Mark to excuse them. And when Mark goes down the stairs, he's over here saying to Nick, like, I ain't got nothing to worry about, right? He's like, I'm great friends with Rose's father. And I hope that you didn't just do this marriage because you over here trying to get in good, okay, with your new come up or whatever the case may be. Because then, you know what I'm saying, that's going to basically be a problem. And Nick is saying, no, of course not, sir. And so he's basically, get to your wife, don't let me hear nothing, and you better make her happy and all of that. And, Nick is like, yes, sir. So, of course, when he walks away, Nick is basically like, okay, because he don't need no problems and he don't need them, coming after them in any kind of way. And Rose, who knows everything that's going on, was already telling him to be careful when he went to walk up there. So in the meantime, they still got Mark out here waiting in this cold, child. And Lawrence never came out to talk to him. Serena and him is in the house. She's want to give small talk about how much she liked his wife, how much she respected her. He was like, well, I'm not going to lie, okay? Sorry to say my wife did not like you. And she said, well, many women didn't like me. And he was like, I wonder why that is, all right? And so they kind of laughed a little bit about that. And then he looked down at her finger and was like, Fred should have never did that. And she was like, yeah, he shouldn't have. And he said, that was him and his toxic masculinity. Okay, he says, my students used to love when I talked about that. And so she basically was saying to him, like, yeah, Fred did have his ways or whatever, but I still loved him. And then she talking about, in a way, she kind of feels relieved and happy that he isn't going to be there for this child, because she feels like she needs a strong man to be there for this baby. So he says, I'm sure you will do better the second time. Now, I felt like she was trying to hint at maybe them two getting married. Like, okay, you ain't got no wife, I ain't got no husband. She over here pulling his damn hand to touch her belly and feel the baby move, talking about some, he always moving and real active after she eats and all of that kind of stuff, right? And she was basically kind of putting like one hand washes the other type of thing. But he let her know, like, we are going to protect you and your child. And she just was like, seeming like she felt happy about that. So now, Mrs. Putnam comes and brings Janine, little girl, to the hospital, right? And, Lydia thanks her for coming, and she's like, I don't think I had much of a choice. She said, well, when she was in the hospital and Janine came to see her, it seemed like it was a big help. And she said, yes, she was a blessing to us, right? And Lydia got a little offended. She was like, is a blessing. She is going to make it. Like, she really seems upset and worried about this, right? Even though in some ways for Janine to just come back to this foolishness is like, But nonetheless, she does go and bring the little girl over there, and she's like, do you want to say hi? And, she's talking to Janine and saying, no matter what, I'll let her know where she got this beautiful smile from. And Janine's daughter's touching her hand and all of that kind of stuff, right? I thought she was about to open up her eyes then. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. So this is gonna be a miracle when she touched her and she opened her eyes, but no, she didn't. And so Mark is getting Serena back to the hotel, and he's telling her, like, it's really been interesting here. I pictured this place so many times with studying it and reading up on it and all of that kind of stuff. And she's like, well, are you surprised? Like, were you able to see it in a different way now than what you was thinking of? And he's like, actually, no, it's pretty much just what the heck I thought it was gonna be, right? And so then she was like, it's a shame that you can't see the beauty that's here. I said, girl, bye, whatever. So he was saying goodnight to her, but she was like, if you don't mind, I actually would like to step in for, have you step in for a minute. I want to speak to you, because he was saying, well, I'll see you tomorrow for the flight for us to go back home. So now when they step in, she talking about some, I am home. And he was like, what? I mean, the fact that this man still keep believing that there's something within this lady and he want to protect her and bring her back home like she a little damsel in distress makes me laugh every single time, okay? But she tells him she is home. This is where she belongs. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, are you sure that's what you want to do? You sure you're making the right decision? He's like, I think you are making a big mistake. And in the midst of them talking, she gets a knock at the door. Because mind you, she done came over and gave him a kiss on the cheek and everything. I thought they was about to really kiss, but she just planted one on the cheek, okay? And so she gets a knock at the door, and of course she moves as far away from him as she can, because she don't want the guys to come in, or whoever it was to come in and end up seeing them, close together. And so when the door opens, they are telling her that there's been a request for her to be at this small council's meeting the next day. And she's like, okay, did Commissioner Lawrence call this meeting? And the guy's like, I don't know, ma'am. All I know is that they told me to, just basically let you know to come. So she's like, okay, he says, should I let them know that you are going to be there? And she says, yeah. So in the meantime, he's telling her, like, I think you're making a big mistake, but if that's the decision that you want to make, then all I can say is, be careful, good luck, stay safe, okay? And he go ahead and walk out the door, and then she just standing there looking. So now we have Lily come and wake up June for this phone call, and it is Nick, of course. She finally has got through to him, because she told her that it can take some time. She get on the phone, and of course, Nick, and he's like, hi, June, or whatever, And so she's basically, asking if Serena has Hannah, right? Of course, that's the first thing she wants to know. And he's like, no, that was only for the funeral. She hasn't had her since the funeral. Then she's like, what is that purple? When we saw her on TV, she had on purple. What does that mean? And he basically was saying purple means, changing of schools or whatever the case may be. She went to a new schools, and that they are preparing her to be a wife. And she like, what? And so he talking about some, but the damn, Mackenzies love her. She was like, they love her so much that they preparing her to be a wife. So he's basically telling her, like, these Mackenzies are very strong. Of course, he heard the way that they was talking about her at dinner time. And he's saying that, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to stay safe. Promise me. And she says, yes, she will. She does promise him, right? And she was trying to see if maybe he could change districts and go ahead to be closer and watch over Hannah. She was like, I know that's a lot to ask, or whatever the case may be, but if you could try. And he had to cut her off and say, no, I can't. He was like, things are different now. I have a different life now, and I have a marriage now. I am married. I have a wife, okay, and her name is Rose. And so she's like, how is she? Is she nice? Would I like her? He's saying, yeah, actually, I think you would like her a lot, all right? And so he's asking about Nicole. She's saying she good. She liked the doll that he gave her. She's smart and all of that kind of stuff. So basically, before they end up, hanging up the phone or whatever, she's just like, Nick, please be happy. And then he just hangs up. I say, oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, y'all, he over here getting flashes back to when they was together and they was kissing or whatever the case may be. And so Lydia's over here knocked out sleeping, and when she wake up, the bed is empty. I said, Lord, where Janine? Okay, where is Janine? And so she go running down the hall, and she, well, not running, but walking as fast as she can. And she asked him, like, where did Janine get moved to? Where is she? Where did they take her? And he's like, she woke up a couple of hours ago, and they thought that it would be good for her to come outside for fresh air. So our girl Janine is still here. Yay! Okay, yes, that's what I want to see, baby. That is what I want to see. So now, they basically, have Serena come into this meeting or whatever, right? And she's seeing Lawrence out in the hallway before she go in. And so she's saying hi to him and asking him, did he call this meeting? And he's basically like, no. And he's like, Serena, is there something that you're expecting from me? Lawrence killed me when he be putting on this dumbfounded role. And so she's like, no. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, I just want to make sure. And then he goes, sorry, Serena. So now she looking a little worried because she don't know what she walking into. And when she gets in here, they're all sitting in their chairs. They got her standing on this podium. And they basically tell her that they want her to act as a global ambassador for them, okay? Of course, not in an official capacity, right? And they feel like she's a special kind of woman. She brings, a different type of things to them that a lot of other women can't. She's in a special predicament and a special, situation, and that she really can't be of help to them there, and she really can't be there. Like, at the end of the day, this is why she's so stupid, because she knew they wasn't going to be able to marry her off to nobody, because you're still supposed to be grieving and you're literally still pregnant with your husband's, your dead husband's baby. So they wasn't going to be able to do that. To me, I would have preferred if they would have told her that they was going to take this damn baby and make her a handmaid's baby. That would have just been the light of my eye. But I will take this for now, because they basically booting her behind right back to Canada and saying, you are no use to us here. And the fact that she still thought she was going to be of importance, when she know that women there are only going to be one of three things, right? They're going to either be a wife, they're going to be a Martha, or they're going to be a handmaid. And you right now are not none of those. So what else are they going to do with you? Your husband is dead. He was considered to be a traitor, even though you tried to put on this big ass show and make it seem like he was supposed to be some damn hero. So you played yourself, okay? And my DJ Khalil Lois girl, you played yourself. And they basically was like, you could take your raggedy behind back home. We don't want you here. That is going to be your home, not here. And so basically she's like, oh, well, I'm going to need staff. I'm going to need some more money. Like I said, I'm not happy that she is getting that. I don't think she even deserves that much. But in a way, because of the situation, it benefited her to have to go back there. So nonetheless, they agreed to that. And she was saying she still wants protection for her and her unborn child. And Lawrence was telling her that's fine. So now when she get on the plane, of course, Mark is like, they told us to hold the plane, or whatever the case may be. Did you have a change of heart? And she feeling stupid, so she didn't even answer him. She just went and sat in her seat. Now Lily, I should say, comes and tells June, y'all, that Serena's on her way back home, right? That they're flying her back into Canada or whatever on a private plane. And she like, wait a minute, she coming back here? She like, yeah, girl, baby, they was getting her there, or whatever the case may be, because Maura and June was sitting down talking, and Maura told her, like, listen, that ain't gonna happen, all right? We ain't gonna let damn Hannah, be no damn wife. That's a no, okay? Don't even worry about it. And she had told her she was going to get, they stuff for them to go ahead and head back home. So now when they get in from the airport, Mark tells them to take her back to the damn, facility or whatever. And you still got these damn people that want to stand around with their damn candles like they freaking worshiping or whatever. And one girl got tears all coming down crying. And of course, Serena loves that. Anything that's giving her attention, that's going to make her feel better and, butter up her damn ego. So the guy was telling her, like, you got fans. And she was like, oh, no, I got believers, or whatever the case may be, right? They believe and they are going to spread the word of God. I said, girl, ain't nothing about y'all, no damn God. So you need to stop that lying. But then we see this car blocking them, and he's like, what the heck is this? He was like, I don't know, they not moving. Because she was like, what's going on? What's going on? And honey, the next thing you know, June was up on that damn car, and she was like, never touch my daughter again. Never touch my daughter again. Never touch my daughter again. She was like, back up, go, 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 go. I loved it, okay? June let her know, like, period, bitch. Don't play with me, okay? I'm on your ass, bitch. I'm on your ass. They sent you back here. You play around with me, that's going to be you and your child. So this is interesting, y'all. We shall see where this is going to go. Tell me what y'all thoughts was on this episode and what your prediction is. Put it all in the comments. Let's discuss, okay? Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. All right, y'all. Toodaloo. Till next time.